April 14th, 2021, 5:42 a.m. I've decided to begin keeping a diary. This thought came to me last night while I was walking Murphy, and a fat man driving a Vibe delivering pizzas for Pizza Ranch pulled over to give Murphy a dog treat. I accepted it, gave Murphy the treat, and thanked him. He drove off. Shortly after, I thought, if Murphy were a child, this scenario would have played out much differently. I then thought, I should be writing this down. And so it begins. 6:49 a.m. I drive a minivan for my work vehicle, and it's dreadful. Hundreds, sometimes thousands of miles a week. If there were a award for such things, I do believe I would be high in the running for most miles driven in a minivan by grown adult with no children. 8:41 a.m. I just drove by a boxcar sitting on a railroad track. It had surprisingly skilled graffiti painted on the side, and I felt untalented and inadequate as a person for a time. I got over it quickly. 9:34 a.m. A fat guy with red hair scolded me for driving too fast in his parking lot. It was difficult for me to take him seriously, but I tried. 10:56 a.m. I eat needlessly complicated foods while traveling in my work vehicle. I had an orange, and it didn't peel cleanly. Everything is now sticky. 1:47 p.m. The man who works in the tool crib on one of my stops is bizarre. I suspect he's on the spectrum. He makes too much eye contact and discusses his cat all the time. 3:31 p.m. The dog chewed up the remaining fluff of the couch cushion I left. This I expected. When I got home, he was so scared I was going to be mad that he lay trembling in the corner. This leads me to believe he has a strong sense of guilt and remorse, but an even stronger impulse to be destructive. Must be so confusing to be a dog. 6:24 p.m. Tonight I had to purchase anti-gas pills because of my excessive fartiness. Normally I wouldn't care, but even I'm surprised at the frequency. April 15th, 2021. 6:25 a.m. A customer called my phone at 2:12 a.m. to request a saw blade pickup. I didn't answer. After I fell back asleep, I had a dream about working in a fast food restaurant. 10:14 a.m. I wonder why we still have toenails. I'm sure there is still some kind of evolutionary reason, but I haven't a clue. Nearest I can tell, they serve only to open the small rips in your jeans wider when you put them on. 1:01 p.m. While standing in line at a gas station waiting to check out, an elderly man of maybe 70 openly flirted with a much younger woman in front of me. It was both pathetic and inspiring. 3:34 p.m. A young man at one of my customers had to let me in as he arrived for work with his key fob. I could tell this made him feel important, and he followed me around afterward. It seemed he needed a friend, and I felt bad for him, but he also seemed very annoying. 7:28 p.m. I've come to the conclusion the anti-gas pills I purchased yesterday are not working properly. April 16th, 2021. 6:44 a.m. My new shoes I ordered on the internet are slightly too tight. I'd send them back, but that would be admitting I'm bad at buying clothes online. 8:36 a.m. I've noticed my sex drive decreasing the past few weeks. This might be alarming to a guy my age, but since I have no one to have sex with, it doesn't bother me that much. 11:13 a.m. At Walmart, the woman checking me out was Scottish. I got to thinking how bittersweet it must be to move halfway around the world, only to end up working at Walmart. 4:49 p.m. I had my taxes done by a little old lady named Marcia. She smelled like baby powder and reminded me of all the aides in elementary school that you had no idea what they did. April 17th, 2021. Drinking coffee and cleaning the house. I often wonder if I could ever do without caffeine, and it's actually so unlikely, even considering it seems silly. 12:47 p.m. There is a young man at my gym with terrible BO. I've discussed it with other members, so it isn't only me who's noticed this. I often wonder about the circumstances surrounding folks with body odor. Do they not know? Or do they know and not care? Or do they have a medical condition, or maybe just improper hygiene habits? Every time I encounter someone with BO, it makes me paranoid about whether I smell or not. What if I do and just don't notice it? People who stink concern me. 4:06 p.m. In spite of my better judgment, I decided to tackle a home improvement project and hang a new back door. I've been without for several weeks after a terrible windstorm tore my old door right off the house. I immediately regretted my decision to attempt such a thing once I realized several facts, namely, the door frame wasn't square, it's a two-man job, and I am not handy. April 19th, 2021. 7:36 a.m. It is a bleak, chilly, overcast day again here in Wisconsin. Days like today are invariably more common than pleasant ones. The older I get, the more I daydream about moving to an area that's warm all year round, so casual nudity is always an option. 10:22 a.m. After seeing two beautiful women out for a walk, I'm reminded how grateful I am that yoga pants have caught on as fashionable attire. 1:02 p.m. I have been running behind all day, and the feeling of being late is dreadful to me. I equate tardiness with premature ejaculation. Both are issues of timing and control, yet both can be resolved with the 3 Ps: planning, patience, and practice. 2:05 p.m. There was a woman who was so monumentally obese at the sandwich shop I stopped at for lunch. She was so fat, in fact, that she pulled up a chair to the counter just to order. The amount of food she ordered was staggering also. 4,000 to 5,000 calories at least, leading me to believe she cared little about her weight and overall health in general. I felt slightly ashamed at how revolted I was by her. April 20th, 2021. 7:13 a.m. Stoners have made 420 a significant day and time in the mythos of weed culture. I'm not sure where it originated, but it's silly to me. Weed does its job every time on any day. 9:18 a.m. I was chatting with an operator at a customer, and he was casually telling me how his girlfriend has a restraining order against him. He was so blasé about it, he might as well have been telling me about a trip to the bank. He chortled after his story, as if to say, "Women, am I right?" 12:12 p.m. I made an impulse buy of gummy bears today. Not sure why, nostalgia probably. They weren't as fun as I remembered. They made my jaw tired and my stomach gurgle. 3:12 p.m. I received my first dose of the COVID vaccine this afternoon. The woman administering the shot was kind of cute. I'm a sucker for a woman in scrubs, but it's pretty hard to look cool after she puts a Snoopy Band-Aid on your arm. 5:48 p.m. While doing cardio at the gym, I often engage in people watching, my favorite workout pastime. Tonight, I observed a young lady of maybe 19 or 20 as she became completely smitten with a strapping young stud who came strutting through the gym like a peacock. Her lust was so obvious. I could see her inner struggle attempting not to stare. This made me jealous. Not because the young lady wasn't drawn to me, but because it's been many years since I've lusted that hard for anyone. I wonder if my best years are behind me. April 22nd, 2021, 6:20 a.m. This morning, while getting ready for work, I realized Q-tips might be the only product never used as directed. 7:25 a.m. This one woman who works in reception is always very nice to me. Every time I turn up, she saves the chocolate blow pop for me because she knows I like them. We have a good relationship and banter a lot. She tells me personal things about her life, like the fact that she's married to a guy 20 years younger than she is. She is a very average and normal-looking woman who just happens to like young dick. I love knowing when someone is a little freaky. 9:29 a.m. I drink a lot of water, but I also travel a lot. Most of my day feels like I have to pee. That can't be good for your system. I wonder if my bladder ever gets tired. 10:04 a.m. Why on earth are there still adult bookstores? I feel like there's virtually nothing a smut shop has to offer that you can't easily fetch online. Are there still that many kinky freaks who refuse to use Google? 1:58 p.m. Keeping a diary is harder than I thought it might be. I have a lot of things to say, but even I'm afraid to write some of it down. 4:40 p.m. I really love riding my motorcycle. Even though I'm relatively new to it, riding has become an unexpected pleasure in my life. I'm often criticized for not wearing a helmet, and when people ask why I don't, I tell them I like risking my life. Their reaction is usually a mixture of surprise and bewilderment. 7:49 p.m. Since moving to this crappy backwater town, I've been consuming too much alcohol to deal with the misery. I'm aware of the dangers, and yet a slow death from alcohol consumption seems preferable to facing a grim reality of living in such a sad and unstimulating place.